Yeah, let's get started. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to today's AI Web3 School Share Sessions. I'm your host, Victoria. And today is an English session, as you know, and I have Peter with us from Web3 Privacy Now. He's going to share with us on the topic why privacy matters for builders. Well, privacy is not an add-on, it's a foundational capability that whether AI or Web3 builders need to understand. And rather than just telling people how to fix a privacy issues, it's about, baking privacy into your product from the very beginning stage. So today, Peter will help us think through privacy and security boundaries at the project additional stage. Yeah, and since this is English share sessions, you can use Double or Notion to provide the real-time subtitles for yourself. Okay, Peter, I think you can start your sharing.
Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I would inspire you to use chat and to message so that it would be interactive. So I will talk a bit about Cypherpunk, about Web3 Privacy Now, and after it will be some sort of Q&A. I hope you'll have time for that. But during the process as well, feel free to drop your questions. Yeah, feel free to drop your questions in the chat because we are like 55 people. It will be a bit messy, I think, if you would talk randomly. Maybe it will be possible like after my presentation, but that's up to Victoria. So once again, thanks for coming. While I will try to share my screen, please put plus in the chat if you're a developer.
Hmm.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfecto. Okay, okay, good. So, let me see what's going on with the chat. Eh, okay, okay, great. Okay, so we start. First, I will start a bit. I will say a few words about Web3 Privacy Now. I'm a core of Web3 Privacy Now, and we are like ecosystem that unites like multiple players inside privacy. We do a lot of events. We have more than 15,000 people coming to our events for the last 3 years from 70 countries. We have 200 speakers from whistleblower Chelsea Manning to Tor co-founder Roger Dingeldin. A lot of contributors from Audrey Tang to Vitalik Buterin, a lot of supporting organizations from Ethereum Foundation to Protocol Labs. And basically, we build solidarity between activists and freedom tech people. And we want to unite everyone in privacy. So that's how it looks for us. So in privacy space, there are a lot of tiny bubbles, but they often just don't intersect with each other. So you can see there are like policymakers or researchers or developers or teachers, crypto users, and all of them basically united by privacy and like value of privacy. But in fact, it's like a very random group. So basically, what we try to do is just to unite all these people together. So that's a bit of our numbers for the past 3 years. Uh, we are actually a non-profit think tank that originated from a small research, and now we are like um, having like a lot of impact in just 3 years. And we have a lot of stuff in our ecosystem. So we do research, we do education, we do events. We have a hackathon pack, which will be a part of your education as well. So one of the projects that I'm doing, I'm a core of Web3 Privacy Now. So one of the projects I'm doing is Academy. and part of your educational program is made with collaboration with us. And yeah, we have a lot of things, and it's much more if you will go to our website. Yeah. But the topic of today is near cypherpunk, and I will try to explain what is near cypherpunk and why probably you are already near cypherpunk, but probably you just don't know about it. So the thing is that originally the internet was meant to set us free, and instead it watches, measures, and sells our data. But I think that there is a new generation of people like you, not necessarily hackers basically, but it's anyone, it's accessible, can actually do that. And that's who we call a new cypherpunk. So we take the old classic cypherpunk thing, which was like 1993. I will tell a bit later about that. And we tried to kind of reimagine how does it like, because the original term was from 1993, and in the world and the internet itself had changed a lot since that time. So that was our kind of idea how does it look like today and now. So the thing is, in the 90s, the world and hacker space looked very, very, very different. And first, like thing that happened, it was the Cypherpunk Manifesto by Eric Huge. And please drop plus in the chat if you have read it or if you're familiar with the Cypherpunk Manifesto. But originally it was done by a cryptographer, Eric Huge, who kind of wanted cryptography, which was a military tech at that time. He wanted it to be something that will be public, that will be accessible, that will be open source, and that will preserve freedom, but not to take it away as it was originally used. Um, yeah, but the thing is, even like back then, Eric Huge already predicted that internet nowadays would be very restricted. It will be used as a tool of control and manipulation. So that's what we have now, and that was actually back then already kind of clear this direction. So how does it look now? So it all began with, oh, I think I hear some background sound from some of you guys. So if you are not muted, please mute yourself. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, so coming to Neo Cypherpunk. So originally it was coined by Rose O'Leary from DarkFi as a term, and then Paul Dylan Ellis, who is a professor of blockchain in the University of Dublin, he kind of made it popular, not popular, but just made it visible, let's say. And then we tried to reimagine this term, and we made our own transition manifesto that kind of explained what is it neo-cypherpunk now. And then Vitalik released this like article of Ethereum being cypherpunk again, and that's what we think of neo-cypherpunk now. And the main idea of Vitalik there is that Ethereum was not just about being super fast, not just being about super efficient, not just about being successful in a capitalistic term, but also being like a world computer that has specific values that are privacy preserving, that are secure, that are open source and permissionless, which is called crops. So there it's because at some point, I don't know how long you're in the crypto space, but when crypto just originated, it was really far from money and big money and this casino thing when you just try to get rich from buying a coin. And it had a lot like a very different values behind that. So originally it was more about regaining more power and being able to do some things that before only governments could do, for instance, print money. So this was a shift, kind of turning Ethereum back in this transition. And in this manifesto, there was like few major things like to reclaim privacy as a public good, also to fund ethical and transparent infrastructure, encourage collaboration between people, different people. It doesn't matter what is the background of people. It can be tech, it can be art, it can be marketing, it can be design, it can be cryptographer, it can be professor. Also replace competition with mutual aid, so being more supportive towards each other and build communities that defend freedom, but joyfully, not fearfully, because there is a lot of gloom and doom in privacy space historically. So, yeah, going back to Neo Cypherpunk. So, Neo basically means new, and for us, like what's important here is mm, it's that it's not nostalgia from the 90s when it was in the original, but it's more like a remix of privacy, play, plus care, plus community. So it's like a movement for now where anyone can join because privacy and autonomy belong to everyone and doesn't belong to someone specific. So all this resulted in a Neo Cypherpunk course 101 that we have in our academy, and that is part of your course as well. So let's move to the essence of it. So, yeah, as I told you before, there is a lot, there was always, and it is a bit as well, like gloom and doom communications around privacy. Um, a lot of negativity, and we don't think it's the right way, because like you can always approach playfully and joyful to anything you do. And it's not about theory, which is important. It's more like a practice. And it's more like a thousands of tiny conscious choices that allows you to slowly take power back from platforms. And it's also being conscious. It's not just, okay, we don't use all big tech. We become privacy maxi people and we talk only on metrics, etc., etc. So I think it's very important just to understand how big tech works and how data collection works on a high scale, not on details, but like what are the consequences so that it's okay to use big tech sometimes with just knowing what are the consequences of that. So what you can do actually to explore how it works, because the most common question after that, okay, we can't use back big tech or like what are the alternatives? And the thing is there are plenty of privacy tools. There are like infinite amount of them. That's why we have a personal privacy stacks. So if you Google this hashtag personal privacy on Twitter, so you will find a lot of privacy, personal privacy stacks from different people. We have more than 50 now. And also they're on our website. So here you can see the personal stack of Vitalik. So it's basically tools that he uses personally, that he shared with us. And we have a lot of like people in the space who you can trust probably because there is no universal answer on like what is private because everyone has a different situation. So it's like someone who is, I don't know, a whistleblower, um, I don't know, protecting women rights in Iran, that's a very different situation because you have to basically, it's a matter of your life. Or if you just want to be private, just not to support big tech, that's a very different stack. But the good thing is that the choice is big. So, uh, of course, not all tools are very easy to use, but still, for instance, DDoS. by Fileverse. It's like super intuitive, very nice UX thing, which is similar to Google Docs, but private and on-chain. So yeah, browse it for inspiration, but not for limitation of yourself. Mm, Also, we believe in pluralism. So if you're neo-cypherpunk, it's not that you got stuck in one specific tool that you believe in. We think that it's all about multi-stack, and you can use any whatever tools that you find comfortable for yourself, for your personal position and your personal situation. And because everyone has a different context, and for someone like I don't know, ETH is enough. For someone needs Zcash, someone needs Monero, someone needs Paton or whatsoever. So it's all kind of very different and personal, and it's okay to be different. And there is no place to shame others for not using something or using some tool which you think is not private enough. And yeah, and also it's a lot about dialogue, not secrecy. We have some sort of a cultural kit, which kind of tries to pack in one picture, like what does it mean to be a new cipher. So first thing first is like a privacy first apps. So you have a private browser, you have a private messenger, then you're on-chain native with more like savvy privacy tools. You know, like how Monero Zcash works, or at least that they exist. You're always open to explore other tools, and it's also been in a collective a lot. That's why we started to actually bring people together offline to get together and like exchange ideas and basically discuss stuff. Also, we have like a lot of old OGs in the space that we can trust, but also the space is diverse. There are a lot of like really, really nice young people who are maybe not that long in the space just because they're young, but still they're very trustworthy. We believe in memes a lot, so it's kind of important, I think, to even though the world and politics might be really, really intense, especially lately, we still believe that there is always a place for memes or for a good joke. Uh, yeah, and also, yeah, wear school merch and spread stickers. So now I'm wearing a Privacy is Normal head by Oxbow privacy pools, which are super nice. Yeah, and spreading stickers, it's like a big thing of what we do as well. Um, so going back to the pictures that I showed you in the beginning. So we believe that like privacy space is very, very, very different. So if you are a hacker, go speak to researcher, go speak to artist, go speak to someone who has no idea like what is privacy. Just explain it, or go to, I don't know, policymaker who is privacy savvy, and then like find out how do you intersect. If you build something, how does it apply to you? So I think it's really important to have these different perspectives on privacy because once again, all these different clusters of people, they tend to have sort of a tribe and be in their own bubble of things, and then ideas don't circulate that much, and like they got stuck in these tiny bubbles. But to kind of get to the point when there is a big global change, I think it's very important to go beyond your bubble and like talk to different people with different specialities, backgrounds, and hard skills. Um, so also Cypherpunk originally began as a movement that was very individual. It was like individuals defending their privacy, and neo Cypherpunk goes further. It's about defending each other. It's like how can privacy empower communities, for instance, not just personal individuals. And that's where neo cypherpunk comes because it's like a cypherpunk but with empathy. um, a mutual aid, an open dialogue, and like sort of collective resilience that is always easier and more efficient. So, last but not least, we have some sort of neo cypherpunk. Wait a second. Oops. Um, so yeah, we have some sort of neo cypherpunk markers that helps you kind of to define what is cypherpunk, what is like old school, and what is new school neo cypherpunk. So you can kind of score any project or any process or uh, anything like through this thing and like understand if it's like old school or new school. So it's
妈的，
once
纯英
again,
文的那个。
yeah, so once again, it's like the summary of what I've just explained. So once again, old school cypherpunk was for experts, it's just for cryptographers. Now we think neo cypherpunk, it's not just a cryptographer, it's like anyone for all level. Also, like old schools have punk. You have to be like full stack. You're like fully private. You are fully under radar. We think that you can use just one tool as a start, like one easy tool, like use Brave instead of Chrome, or use Signal instead of Telegrams. That's already moves you further a lot, and you don't have to kind of be absolutely under the radar. So, yeah, also gloom and doom that was very common in the 90s. Now we believe in more joy-centric, meme-infused thing. Before it was more like nation state and like we believe that everything is global. There are no borders and people can build their own communities. It doesn't matter like where they born or where they live. It doesn't matter now we have internet. So it's moving from more individual to communal once again, and yeah, from highbrow to mimetic, not being like, okay, I'm the privacy boss, and, and being arrogant towards each other and just have fun in the process. So, yeah, that's more or less it. Yeah, you can always find me on X and the Web3 Privacy Now as well. Check our account. We do a lot of stuff all around the globe. Uh, like the next one is gonna be in 14th of June in Berlin. We are doing a huge summit, new Cypherpunk summit. So yeah, it's free. Anyone can join. Just in case you're in Berlin, please come. And yeah, I think Victoria, do we have some space for questions or some time for that?
Yes, exactly. We still have like 30 minutes running for that. Yeah,
Okay.
I think we can turn to the Q&A sessions. So, if you got any question for now, just, feel free to unmute and ask, or just leave your questions in the comment section. Is all right. Yeah, let's see. Okay, I think some people just typing on the comment area. Can you check it?
Mhm.
Peter? Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Mm, so many people around us don't really care about privacy. That's fact. Use many tools. Continues. To a small group of people. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you. Of course, that's very common questions, and there are a few approaches to that. So, of course, you have your friends, or especially family. Especially when you talk about family, it's really hard to kind of introduce to family new tools. That's 100%. But I think it's not always necessary because once again, being neo-cypherpunk, it's not just one tool, right? Okay, maybe you can't talk with your parents with Signal, that's fine, but you can use private browsers, you can use VPNs, you can use whatever other tools. So if one tool from the stack is not available for everyone, for everything, that's okay, because that's utopia to be fully private in everything. It's 100%. So it's always a scale. And I know some people who are actually really, really pushing their friends. And I know some people who kind of forced all of their friends to go to Signal instead of Telegram or WhatsApp. And that happens sometimes. You can, if you are devoted enough, you can kind of transfer your friend group. I think that is kind of possible, but also it's not always necessarily. I think it's not like black and white. It's just scale from 0 to 100. And for instance, like if you can't communicate with your friends in private messenger, it's like, I don't know, 10 out of 100. So you still have 90% of like other stuff you can explore. So, and it's okay. Probably you will never be like 100% because, of course, it depends on your case, but for most people, it's not needed like this level of privacy as well.
Okay, great.
If you have more questions, I think you can type in chat or maybe unmute yourself and just speak.
Okay, let's see. Does anyone have a question for that? Yeah, I think I leave in the comments area for the.
Okay, I've seen you one. Many countries are very reluctant to accept fully private chat tools. How to deal with being forced to be examined? Ooh, wow, that's very specific and interesting thing. So I'm not really familiar with China case, so I can't give you like a specific design advice. But for instance, I know about Russia, where nowadays they have a like government messenger, and they not forcing people to install it, but kind of they forcing businesses to use it. So, for instance, like all the big mobile operators, they now have to talk through this official government messenger, or all the universities are kind of forced to talk with their students through this. So they're indirectly forcing people to install governmental messenger, which is like a spyware, which is very obvious for everyone. That's not a secret, not a secret. So people don't actually want to do that. And so they don't do it just because there is some sort of awareness that it's a spyware. And I think it's pretty high. And if people really, really need to do that for some points, they just buy a cheap phone, like the cheapest phone possible, like a smartphone, enough to install it, and then they have just Messenger on this phone. And if in case you're being examined, I don't know if it happens in Russia, but so I know that people use it in like practical for practical reasons, just to be able to get some services they need, and they don't have access to it otherwise rather than through this messenger. So yeah, second phone helps in this case. It's very risky to organize such a community. Well, I'm not hmm, I'm not talking about community here. Yeah, it's just knowing how surveillance works and like mm, yeah, being more private. That's more about that, I would say. It's not about like making a group of people, adding them to a chat and signal and making a revolution. It's not about that at all. It's more about being invisible for like repressive tools. And that's exactly what happens when you have a second phone and where you put like a government spyware, and then you don't care that it's there. Okay, we have one more question. So in Web3 privacy security per month, now it's mm,
What
so mentions in our system user essential operations with the messages sent. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good question and very up to date. I think actually that's up to you to find the solution to that. So the problem is that uh, agents are a big thing now, and everyone is crazy about AI agents. Everyone is building them. Everyone is trying them. And of course, agents are doing a lot of transactions, and of course, they communicate with each other. But of course, it's okay that majority of people don't think about privacy at that moment because, like, as someone told in the very beginning, there is no, I mean, majority of people they just don't think about privacy as a thing. So since it's a very new tech, and people building that probably don't have this kind of issue. Like, they not necessarily they even think about security, right? Because it's very innovation and like people are doing everything super fast. Like overnight, I need to build and launch whatever agent or product. So Mm, it's okay that people don't think about it, but I think that's a really good potential for you to think about solutions that would allow agents to be private or to build private agents or to build relays or whatever things that will enable them to be private. So, and that would be I think, a really nice outcome for your bootcamp in the end of the day because it's big, it's growing, but yeah, and that's just an empty space. Any more questions? Okay, in case if someone is typing now, like few more minutes, do we have few more minutes?
Yeah, I think someone just typing on that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so just in case someone is typing, if you have a few minutes, I will can just briefly show you the privacy builder pack that will be also part of um, your thing. So it's sort of maybe not just product, but it's a lot of things for builders that do privacy solutions. Um, and inside we have a glossary that helps you to understand some terms in privacy. We have tools. If you're a developer, like which is privacy focused, we have ideas generator, so you can actually generate idea for any privacy tool. We have a lot of cases of real world privacy challenges and solutions that like exist. We have frameworks that will help you to structure like building stuff, if it's privacy and enhancing, tips and tricks. Essentials, Explorer, that is our separate product that like it has more than 800 privacy related projects where they are scored and you can see how private they are, and separate TLOS guideline for implementing it. Yeah, thank you, thank you. So yeah, is that something that you can use freely. It's free, open source. It's here built with the privacy.info. And there is a lot of things inside. I'm not just going here inside, but like if we go, there will be a lot of different things. Uh, so a lot to explore. Also, Explorer itself, like it's a very big product. Yeah. That has like multiple projects, and you can see in this circle like their privacy level. And you can actually shuffle through this and see how it's working. And then, okay, we can go to stack and we can see how open it is, like how private is the technology, like overall thing, and all the details that you might need about more than 800 projects. Yeah, it's like a lot here. But everything is kind of concentrated here in Privacy Builder Pack or like ideas generator. If you don't know what to build, because you're supposed to build something, you can just generate idea, boom, and that's like idea, and you can generate again and again and again. So besides working on privacy for AI agents, there are so many things that you can explore, or you can find a solution for that as well. So yeah, that's a builder pack. Okay, so I don't see any questions more. Mm,
Okay, let's say, yeah, I just think if anyone still have questions, you can just simply typing down advice. By the way, Peter, could you please copy this website to the comments area so everybody can get the
oh
link
yeah,
to the
sure.
product? Yeah. Okay, I think maybe yeah. Maybe smooth still typing. Okay, I will go to ask some questions for you. So, I think that from the early server pack was mainly focused on protecting humans from surveillance, as you have mentioned. But the AI era, do you think the movement should also like protect humans from AI itself? Like, do you have any products to have this just for that? Because as we have been asked the AI, the AI transition was completely transparent. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, that's it's a good answer, especially considering that you're building an AI. But I think the main problem with AI is that we have too many players and we have too many money that are put into AI at this moment. So it's like, and it moves too fast. So every day there is some massive improvement, there is some massive new implementation, there is some massive new discovery that boosts it like with the speed that we have never seen before. So I think that's like the biggest challenge of this industry is that it's growing too fast, and things that were relevant today, they will not be relevant tomorrow. And I think that's the trickiest part about that. So everyone is in a huge rush, especially now with IPO. So it's like will be a more money influx to AI market, which is good for you builders, of course, but it will be, I mean, there is no quick solutions for that, let's say, because we will be always one step behind because it's moving too fast and it's okay at some point. Uh, but yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up with the industry, which is so hyped and which is so pumped with money. And I see one more question in the chat. Let me check. Mm, Hmm. Okay, good question, very specific. So I will repeat the question for those who can't read the chat. So really short, in a short form. So the question is like if you have an agent that does transactions on chain and does several transactions, it becomes observable, but then at what point it becomes like privacy sensitive, let's say. So actually, there is no universal answer because it depends on you. Because once again, as I told before, there is no universal privacy solution for everyone. So imagine you are, I don't know, Andrew Tang, digital minister of Taiwan, and then like a single transaction of him may lead to political consequences, obviously. Or if you're, I don't know, whatever, just an ordinary person, just a citizen, and probably if you do even 100 transactions, no one cares. Or I don't know, maybe if you transact a lot of money, yeah, then you can be exposed to maybe some hackers will be looking for the amount of transactions which are big and often and will try to scam you, for instance. So, mm, I would say that ideally privacy should be mm, like you should kind of define your level of privacy, right? And um, you should be able to choose for your agent if it's fully private and fully invisible, or it's partly visible, or it's fully visible, right? Because different people has different needs and different goals when they do transactions. So for some of them, for some people, it's actually important. Imagine you are a professional celebrity YouTuber doing agentic trading. Of course, you want your transactions to be public so that you get trust from your audience. So there are very different cases, and sometimes people need transparency as well. But I would say that uh, it would be nice by default for everyone to have some sort of privacy layer so that people would be protected from scam or from, I don't know, from whatever, like being private as we are kind of private with financial transactions with banks.
Okay, great. Let's see, do you have any other questions? Mm, okay, let me just have a quick one. Just, yeah, because, from my personal review, like the lot of crypto today feels more like financial than logical. Do you think the whole industry has drifted away from the original Cypherpunk version?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, uh, the whole industry is very far away from cypherpunk. That's 100%. It's very financially incentive, which is good and bad at the same time. So bad because before I think like crypto and cryptography and blockchain as technology was a tool that could help you to preserve freedom or get freedom. And now it get really drained away from that direction, more to the direction of, oh, okay, let's issue a token and get free monopoly money out from nowhere, which is of course attractive idea. Of course, everyone would be happy to have like a free money. But at the end, in the end of the day, I think. people got too much into that game of like chasing this tokens that will give them like hundreds of X's. And I'm happy that now there is some sort of direction kind of back, but not back. Okay, we will go to the perfect past that was ideal, idealistic, cypherpunk, blah blah blah. No, it's kind of that's why it's neo. It's about new. It's like there was a good idea in the past. We like it, but then we need to rethink it and we need to readjust it to today because today is a very different world. So in 1993, basically the usage of internet was almost zero. Now it's like almost everyone. So we have a different everything regarding that and the very different level and proximity of tech. So that's why we really like what Ethereum does with crops, with mandate, with this movement, not just to money and speed, but towards having a global impact. And I think it's especially important nowadays when we have a lot of limitations of freedom all around the world. It's like becoming a norm to have a lot of limitations. So I live in Spain, for instance, which is very kind of social and liberal and sort of free country. But even though, like just few days ago, Spain banned polymarket, which is ridiculous. But there is a lot of things happening in Europe which are so-so with MiCA regulations, etc., etc. So yeah, I think it's kind of important not just to chase money, which is of course important, but also to look around and see that the world we live in is kind of weird at the best, or just completely crazy sometimes. And we have tools to make it different. And I think it's much more beautiful and rewarding to kind of uh, try to fix that or to build some sort of alternative future, which is more free, which is more caring, which is uh, more about joy and freedom and care and community, and not just like total control.
Oh, great, great. Oh, the
Oh, and we have,
Polymark
I
has been
see.
banned from Spain, right?
Sorry, what?
The poly market you just
Yeah,
said
yeah,
the
yeah.
poly been banned
Yeah, yeah.
from Spain recent days.
Yes.
Really? Oh my God.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
And yeah, we have one more question in the chat. Um, oh, it's a very good question. So, yeah, so I will repeat it shortly so that everyone can get it. So, okay, society is governed by institutions, banks, governments, but now with tech, we give this kind of power and control to um, protocol designers and code and math. So is it just moving power from one pocket to another, or it changes anything? So it's and again, what are the risks here? So that's a very beautiful question. I think, of course, there are risks, but the thing is, like, how do you implement that and how do you implement the code? Because I think crops is all about that. Crops that are like rules kind of that Ethereum Foundation issued recently in their mandate, planning Ethereum 100 years ahead. So crops means resistance, open source, privacy, security, and permissionless. So I think like if you have these qualities in your protocol, then probably you would trust it. And I think important issue there is to be open source. So it's very if it's verifiable, when it's not just a black box code, then it's you have some sort of yeah, you have some sort of trust. Basically, you know how tech is built, and you can trust it. And then there are also multiple of other people who kind of check this code and make sure that it works in a certain way. So, and of course, if it's like a private government-owned blockchain, it doesn't change anything, right? It's just like another tool in oppressive hands. So, um, that's why it's kind of important to have more like open source and independent tools and open source and independent software. And that's like what we advocate as well in the end of the day, not just like privacy by default tools, but more open source tools, which in the end of the day are becoming the freedom tools. So yeah, otherwise it's just like moving power from pocket to pocket if it's like a private owned by, I don't know, whatever bank things, and it doesn't really matter, right? It's just like tech that is used in the same abusive way.
Okay, let's see. I think there are questions in the com area that is showing above. Have you read that? It's like, do you think tracking wallets of the whales is an offense to privacy, or it's just fascinating points of Web3? Did you see that?
So, where is that?
It's in the comment area, but it's showing above the long questions.
Uh, mm, are we talking about chat or no?
Now, just a comments area. That's all right. I can just read for you. Like, do you think tracking wallets of these whales is an offense to privacy, or it's a just fascinating point of Web3, the transparent on the chain,
Wait, I can't find it. Wait a sec. Let me just stop the turn. Can you drop it in the chat? Okay, thank you. As an offense to privacy was a fascinating system chain. Mm, well, yeah, it's very interesting question. I think it's more ethical question, and I think it depends on whales also if they want to share this information or not. So I think that's a question to them first of all. Because privacy is something that you decide for yourself, first of all, like how much do you want to be private? And of course, for whales, it's a very different thing because like all of their movement are tracked, they're always observant. So I think they have a lot of strategies on doing fake moves as well, and like pumping and dumping market in their interest. So. Mm, of course, I think for a lot of them it will be interesting to be private. But at the same time, for the society, it will be interesting for them to be open. So it's a good question here. And there is no judge that can decide how it should be. Uh, so it's more like a moral, ethical question that I would say, like how to approach that.
Mm. Okay, I think um yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think this all the questions that we have on it. And I think it's nearly like 1 hour. I'm really appreciate your time, Peter, and it's really good sharing. And yeah, I think we all learn from that. Yeah, I think this should be end today. And just a reminder for all the students who come in this meeting room, just remember to get your daily test done on the intensive co-learning and keep moving on this week 2 tutorials. I will see you guys in the really next day at the same time. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe.
Okay, bye bye, guys.